Though he is one of the youngest stars in the industry, my guest at this time is already a veteran of TNA's X Division. His incredible versatility and athleticism have seen him capture the X title multiple times. He is, as his name states, the future, Chris Sabin. Chris, how are you?
I am good.
So Chris, you were out here in New Zealand for WWA in 2003. Was that your first trip to New Zealand?
Yes, that was my first trip.
Have you been back here since then?
No, actually I haven't, but I would definitely like to.
Have you got good memories of your time out here in New Zealand?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and I enjoyed seeing some of the countryside and stuff. It was really cool.
The match that you had out here was touted as one of the greatest of the year. How do you look back on that match?
Definitely was one of my favorite matches that I've had so far in wrestling. It was something I'm definitely proud of, and just basically really positive memories about it. You
were really young when you entered the industry, so what's it been like for you being one of the youngest guys in this business?
It's not a bad thing, because I mean, everyone's young at some point, but I'm definitely very lucky to be where I am, being at the age I'm at. So I mostly just feel lucky that I have able to accomplish what I have accomplished in wrestling, and still be considered one of the young guys. So.
Yeah. How do you look back on your time training with Scott D'Amore?
It was great. I mean, I learned pretty much almost everything I know from him, and it was I got some good memories of Scott beating me up pretty bad. So.
Oh, really? Of beating you up?
Yeah. But it was worth it. Yeah.
Any memories in particular?
Mostly just lots of scrapes and bruises. So basically, what I remember. I don't remember any specific story, but I just remember, all the drills and everything we had to do. Yeah, it was pretty hard.
You came up through the industry with Petey Williams, and you've faced each other a number of times. Are there any matches with him that really stand out?
Probably. I think the one that we actually had in Japan, I was able to work Petey for this promotion. They're not around anymore, but they were called Wrestle Aid Project in Japan, and I got to work Petey over there, and it was one of the longest, and I think one of the best matches that we've had.
Yeah. You said that you wanted to be a wrestler your whole life, and you worked at Subway to pay your way through wrestling school. Is professional wrestling all that you thought it would be?
Definitely not everything I thought it would be. Of course there's unexpected stuff, but as a whole, I'm definitely really happy with it. So.
Yeah. Who were your heroes in wrestling when you were growing up? Who did you really look up to and admire?
Growing up, probably Hulk Hogan and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Did you have any idea at that time that you might work for WWE?
That was like my dream when I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Because that's the main thing that I watched when I was little was WWF. So mostly I just wanted to work for them. But as I got older, I realized there was other stuff out there too. So.
Yeah. Tell us what it was like working in the very first Ultimate X match.
It was pretty nerve-wracking because they weren't able to get the structure up until right before the show started. So we weren't even able to go up and hang from the ropes. We didn't even touch the thing before had to go do the match. So we were all kind of didn't know what was going to happen, so we were really nervous. But it ended up coming out pretty good, so we were happy with it.
So you didn't even get to test out the strength of the cables?
No, not at all.
It must have been pretty nerve-wracking the first time you got out there.
Yeah. We were really nervous because we weren't sure what was going to happen, but luckily it all stayed together. So.
Yeah. What do you think the chances are of TNA doing an entire pay-per-view for the Super X Cup tournament?
I would say the chances are mostly not likely because, I don't know. They tried out before and it came out really good. I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah. If TNA were able to get an extra hour on Spike TV, who would you like to see brought into the X division?
I think guy I would mostly like to see is for Jerry Lynn to be brought back into the X division because he still works there. He's one of the agents or whatever, but still, it'd be nice to see him back in the ring at TNA.
Yeah. Any other guys from around the indie circuit, like Ring of Honor, places like that, Pro Wrestling Guerrillas?
I'd like them to see bring Roderick or Austin Aries back. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong or Austin Aries, bring them back in.
What's it been like working with Kevin Nash and the whole paparazzi angle?
That was really cool, actually. I had a really good time doing it all. It was really an honor to be able to work with someone like Kevin Nash. You know, has been who he is as far as professional wrestling business goes. You know, he's been everywhere and done everything. You know, so it was really cool to learn from him and work with him. So. Yeah.
Any memories that stand out from that angle, working with him?
Mostly just. Just probably just remembering or seeing him for the first time, really sticking out in my head how big he actually is because he's ginormous.
Yeah. What's Jeff Jarrett been like to work for?
Well, he's always been really cool.
Yeah?
Jeff has been nothing but cool to me, so I have nothing bad to say about the guy. He's helped me out, given me a chance, to work for him and a chance to make a living and stuff, so, I have nothing negative to say about him.
How are you finding Jim Cornette's old school approach and the newer style of TNA?
I think it's really cool. I think Jim Cornette is one of the best talkers in the business, and he just adds to TNA. There's nothing but add. I think it's great.
Cool. Smaller guys have been really making their mark on the industry in recent years. Who do you credit with really opening the door?
For smaller guys?
Yeah.
I credit the WCW Cruiserweight division because they really brought that style of wrestling to the U.S. All those guys started Benoit, Malenko, Guerrero, Mysterio.
Yeah.
Juventud, all those guys. They put the spotlight on the younger guys. So.
With Bound for Glory set to be held in Detroit in the new arena, it's creating a huge buzz. You must be getting really amped up about working in the big arena in front of a big crowd.
Yeah, well, we actually had a house show in Detroit, and it was pretty packed. And we had the house show in Detroit was actually at the same arena that the pay-per-view is going to be at. So I've already worked there once before, so it won't be too nerve-wracking or anything.
How was it working there the first time?
Oh, it was awesome. There was we packed that place, and it was really cool, especially because it was TNA's first house show. So it was good to see that we had that many fans.
How many does it seat?
I think 5,000 or 6,000 people, I think.
Yeah. I guess it'll be a nice change from the Impact Zone. Hopefully nothing will catch on fire.
Oh, yes, definitely. It'll be an awesome, tremendous change.
Where were you when the fire hit at Hard Justice?
I was in the locker room, actually. Sanjay came running in saying that there's a fire in the arena, so we came out and looked to see what was going on, and everyone had to evacuate and stuff. So.
They handled it really well. Have you watched it back on TV at all?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it back, but yeah, I think they did the best they could with the situation they had.
Yeah, for sure. Outside of TNA, do you have a favorite indie promotion that you've worked for?
Yeah, probably my favorite would be PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, out in Southern California. I work for those guys every month and have the most fun out there.
Yeah. Is there anyone else? I know Christopher Daniels works out there as well, doesn't he? Or he did?
Yeah, he lives out there, but he doesn't work the PWG shows a lot. He does some of them, but he's not on a lot of them or anything. Right.
Is Christopher Daniels somebody that you'd like to spend more time in the ring with?
Yeah, definitely. I had a great time every time I work with Christopher Daniels, and anytime I'm going in there with him, I'm happy.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you'd really like to work with that you haven't worked with yet? And this can be from anywhere, you know.
Probably Dean Malenko, because he's one of my favorite wrestlers. When I was watching, when I used to be a fan of WCW and stuff, Dean Malenko was my favorite, so probably I would like to have a match with him.
Yeah. What's something that fans would be surprised to learn about Chris Sabin?
Well, like I said, I love cats, and I have 3 cats.
You have 3 cats. What are their names?
Marley, Jake, and Bonesaw.
Bonesaw from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, no pun intended, but what does the future hold for Chris Sabin?
Right now I'm just focusing on, I have an X Division title match next at the next pay-per-view, No Surrender.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just going to be focused on that. I don't want to think too far down the line. I'll just keep to, my short-term goals and see where that gets me. So.
Cool. Well, Chris, thanks very much for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
Oh, no problem.
And all the best for No Surrender and Bound for Glory.
Thank you. I appreciate it.